Good morning. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. Little music to wake you up this morning. I like letting it play a little long on the intro.
Right?
Yeah, because, you know,
plus,
people in the right mindset.
It's shake it off.
That's right. Shake off the week. We're going into a weekend, and if you are a government worker or you know, work for a school district, then you probably have a three-day weekend this weekend. Woohoo!
You know what Monday is?
President's Day?
Lincoln's
birthday.
Lincoln's birthday. Normally for Lincoln's birthday, I would do Lincoln. I would prepare myself and present Lincoln's Gettysburg Address dressed as Lincoln for my students. This year I'm going to wait a little bit longer to do it because I'm taking them on a field trip at the beginning of March, and I'm going to do it then. But very exciting. I love Lincoln's birthday.
Is it your favorite holiday?
It's one of them. If you've never been on Lincoln's birthday or this weekend, they'll have events. Go to the Lincoln Shrine in Redlands. Check online. Go to the Lincoln Shrine. I'm sure they've got stuff. I always love going over there. They got great stuff going on over at the Lincoln Shrine in Redlands.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That is wonderful. So have you seen AOC's Green New Deal?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's a mess, Aaron.
You know, her idea of, especially that she wants to do this, and what this is go from 90%, 10% renewable or 11% renewable energy is what the United States uses at the moment, and from that to 100% in 10 years. And also during this time, she wants to engage in this massive wealth redistribution, so that people who do choose not to work, or who aren't working or don't want to work, that they'll be taken care of. So we're talking about minimum basic income. We're talking about universal health care. We're talking about free education through college. Blah blah blah. We're talking about massive wealth redistribution, but that doesn't even get you there. It's also massive quantitative easing. You know, like they did in Zimbabwe.
Uh-huh.
And it worked really well for them.
No, it didn't.
It didn't?
No.
You mean the economy collapsed?
Yes.
And people were starving?
It doesn't work, Aaron.
It doesn't work?
It doesn't work.
But AOC said it worked.
No.
With unicorns and fairies.
You know, I think the part of their plan that had me laughing the hardest was when they want to ban all the farting cows. I'm serious, Aaron. It's in the plan. So we all have to go vegan. And all the poor little no more cows.
Because
and here's the thing. I know the animal lovers out there, right? You can't just let the cows wander around and repopulate. So you're going to have to euthanize them all, Aaron. You know, she didn't get into the nitty gritty, but you're not probably going to be allowed to eat them because that would be. I'm just guessing there.
Oh my God! So what are they going to do? Feed them to wild cats and wolves? I mean, just that doesn't make any sense.
None of it makes any sense, Aaron. The craziness of this plan. And one of the things that's really laughable, I guess, is that Kamala Harris came out immediately and praised it and said she's going to be one of the co-sponsors of it. And I'm like thinking to myself, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, these people are nutty.
Yes, they are.
Nutty.
Yeah, this isn't even socialism anymore, folks. This is what communism looks like.
Yeah.
Stalin would have loved this plan.
Within, Stalin did it in 5-year plans. I'll give them credit here. They've stretched it out to 10 years. But in 10 years, it's essentially a complete government takeover of every aspect of our lives in the government.
Yes.
Everyone will be guaranteed a job, whether you want to work, whether you or not.
Well, you'll be guaranteed income whether you want to work or not.
Yes. And airplanes go away. Bye-bye airplane industry. All those people who fly planes, work on planes.
And it's kind of funny because the Hawaiian senators were like, yay, wait, no airplanes?
Right.
Wait, that's not going to work for us?
Yeah. Trains. We're going to make a massive train across the Pacific Ocean to get to Hawaii.
So I wonder how AOC gets around. I mean, if you think that the world is really going to end, to me, this is the best way to prove whether the people who are in support of this kind of takeover, this kind of changing of the system that America uses for energy, whether they're true believers. Al Gore, with all of his doom and gloom, we were all going to be dead like 5 years ago. He has a massive house and he flies around on private jets. Dude, if you really believe that, you wouldn't be doing that. You'd be on a horse. So,
exactly right.
Except they fart too.
Oh my God, Aaron. Don't start with the farting horses now.
Yeah. So this is how she'll pay for it. The same way we paid for the New Deal, the 2008 bank bailout, and extended quantitative easing programs. Now, the bank bailout, it's true, we gave millions or billions of dollars to the banks, but you know what they did? They paid it back.
They did.
They did. They paid it back with interest. Now, I wasn't in support of bailing out the banks, but they did pay it back. I don't think General Motors did, but,
I was
the
in
banks
favor.
did.
I was in favor of throwing the bums in jail.
I was in favor of throwing the bums in jail.
We never quite made it to that part of the plan.
So it says the Federal Reserve can extend credit. This is from her FAQs. The Federal Reserve can extend credit to power these projects and investments, and new public banks can be created to extend credit. There's also space for the government to take an equity stake in projects to get a return on investment. At the end of the day, this is an investment in our economy that should grow our wealth as a nation. So the question isn't how we pay for it, but what will we do with our new shared prosperity? I'm sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. Quantitative easing doesn't work. The countries that have done it, we did it, but again, our banks paid the money back. But the countries that have had the massive takeover, which is what she's talking about, have failed miserably.
Yes.
Failed miserably. So the level of investment required is massive. Even if every billionaire and company came together and were just willing to pour all the resources at their disposal into the investment, the aggregate value of the investments they could make would not be sufficient. Now, this is from her FAQs, word for word. I'm reading it word for word. The speed of investment requirement will be massive. Even if all the billionaires and companies could make the investments required, they would not be able to pull together a coordinated response in the narrow window of time required to jumpstart major new projects and major new economic sectors. Also, private companies are wary of making massive investments in unproven research and technologies. The government, however, has the time horizon to be able to patiently make investments in the new tech and R&D, like Solyndra, that's my comment, without necessarily having commercial outcome or application in mind at the time. Yeah, we'll just kind of throw money at it. Simply put, we don't need to just stop. We don't need to just stop doing some things we're doing, like using fossil fuels for energy needs. We also need to start doing new things, like overhauling whole industries, retrofitting all buildings to be energy efficient. Starting to do new things requires some upfront investment, in the same way that a company that is trying to change how it does business may need to make big upfront capital investments today in order to reap future benefits that may not materialize. Now, that may not materialize is my commentary. She says that merely incentivizing private sector work doesn't work. Once again, she's not saying that there isn't a role for the private sector. She's just saying that the level of investment required will need every actor to pitch in. Now, the other part of this, and because people who are really for the green energy and think that the world is going to end in 12 years are like, yeah, we need to do that. We need to do that. So this is some of the things that she lists specifically. Build infrastructure to create resiliency against climate change. Repair and upgrade U.S. U.S. infrastructure. ASCE estimates, ASCE estimates this is a $4.6 trillion investment at minimum. Meet 100% of power demand through clean and renewable energy that does not include nuclear. Build energy efficient distributed smart grids. Upgrade and replace every building in the U.S. for the state-of-the-art energy efficiency. Every building. Massively expand clean manufacturing like solar panel factories, wind turbine factories, battery and storage manufacturing, and remove pollution and greenhouse gas emissions from manufacturing. Work with farmers and ranchers to create sustainable pollution and greenhouse gas free food system, which means no meat, that ensures universal access to healthy food and expands independent family farming. Totally overhaul transportation by massively expanding electric vehicle manufacturing. Build charging stations everywhere. That's technical. Build out high-speed rail at a scale where air travel stops becoming necessary. Create affordable public transit available to all with a goal to replace every combustion engine vehicle. So, Social justice. Now, there's a little bit more in that list. I'm not going to go through everything. Social justice, economic justice, and security through 15 requirements. Now, this is the real Marxist meat. Massive federal investments and assistance to organizations and businesses participating in the Green New Deal, ensuring the public gets a return on that investment. Okay. Ensure the environmental and social costs of emissions are taken into account. Provide job training and education to all. Invest R&D of new, clean, and renewable energy technologies. Doing direct investment in frontline and deindustrialized communities that would otherwise be hurt by the transition to prioritize economic benefits there. Use democratic and participatory process led by frontline and vulnerable communities to implement G&D projects locally. Ensure that all G&D projects, that's Green New Deal, are union jobs that pay prevailing wages and hire local. Guarantee a job with family-sustaining wages. Protect the rights of all workers to unionize and organize. Strengthen and enforce labor, workplace health and safety, anti-discrimination in wage and hour standards. Obtain free, prior, and informed consent of indigenous peoples. Provide high-quality health care, housing, economic security, and clean air, clean water, and healthy food, and nature to all. And this is to, basically providing a living wage to everyone, whether they want to work or not, by confiscating the wealth of others.
Yes.
That's essentially what she's talking about. Not essentially, that is what she's talking about.
Well, and it affects every aspect of your life. They're going to come into every home and make sure that every home is now, a green home. Everyone's going to have to get rid of their cars and transportation. Whole sectors of jobs are going to be removed from the economy if her plan was implemented, and so you would be reassigned to some new job. This is communism. This is the government literally stepping into every aspect of your life, telling you what you can eat, where you can work, what you can drive, where you can live,
how much you can earn, how much you can keep of what you earn.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. It's communism.
It is communism.
Yeah.
So with that, we need to take a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We'll be right back.
This is Dick from Carpet Masters. Carpet Masters has been serving the Inland Empire for over 55 years. Carpet Masters uses extraction cleaning for your carpet because there's no better cleaning to remove the soil from your carpet. All of our furniture cleaning is done by hand in your home or in our plant. Carpet Masters also offers dry cleaning for fine furniture. Call Carpet Masters at 793-7215. That's 793-7215 for Carpet Masters.
It's time to shop in the cool, relaxed comfort of the Tri-City Shopping Center in Redlands, conveniently located on the I-10 freeway between the Alabama and Tennessee exits. Bring the kids too and watch them play in the only indoor fun center, High Five Indoor Playground, where parents are welcomed on the playground. Birthday celebrations are encouraged, so make plans for some great fun at the mall. More reasons why the Tri-City Center is called the Mall with a Heart.
I'm finally getting my abs back thanks to TC1 Gel. I gained some inches around the belly last year and the holidays didn't help either. But then I discovered TC1 Gel and now 2019 is the year of my abs returning. TC1 Gel is a thermogenic gel that you rub on your waist 15 minutes before exercising. Then simply put on the TC1 sweat belt and start your workout. You'll sweat like crazy and feel the burn. It focuses on boosting circulation, increasing perspiration, activates body heat, reduces muscle fatigue, and burns off more calories. Get your TC1 Gel now. Go to tc1gel.com and use the code RADIO30 for a 30% discount on this amazing product. Again, RADIO30 is the code for 30% off the regular low price of TC1 Gel. You can also go to www.tc followed by the numeral 1 gel.com. That's TC number 1 gel.com. TC1gel.com. Get rid of a few inches and get your abs back with TC1 Gel. Also, follow them on Instagram, handle TC1Gel.
KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So there is other news out there, isn't there?
Is there?
Are people talking about other things?
I think they are. I was actually about to talk about something.
Okay, go for it.
So I just read an article about discipline in schools, and this is becoming a hot topic among teachers because the state of California about a year or so ago got rid of the ability to suspend kids for disruption and defiance, and then they created this new state accountability system where you can get this dashboard on your computer and you can look to see how many kids your school is suspending. They have to log that, and so the consequence of those two actions is that schools are now really working hard not to suspend kids. And there's been lots of talk about the inequality and who's getting suspended and why they're getting suspended. And the outcome, the unintended outcome of this is that we have a lot of kids that are being that are still on our school campuses that are not being suspended now, but are creating massive disruptions and really destabilizing the school system. And the other kids are the ones that are suffering. And I just read a beautifully written opinion piece that really describes what these defiant, disruptive kids are doing as a crime, that they're committing crimes against these other students, and we need to be able to deal with their criminal behavior because they're stealing educational opportunities from other kids because teachers are having to spend so much time dealing with these kids that they used to be able to suspend and just get out of the classroom. Right.
So is it going to take a lawsuit from parents to change it? I mean, because you have kids in there who aren't learning that should be learning because the teachers are having to focus on the knuckleheads.
Exactly. And I don't know. You know, it seems to me that parents are being very sort of slow to understand what the problem is. You know, and as teachers, we're not allowed to sort of call parents and say, you know, this other kid in the class is really causing all sorts of problems, and that's why your kid's suffering. We can't really do that. We're not allowed to talk to...
Yeah, but the kids can say it. The kids can say it to their parents that so-and-so does nothing but cause problems in class, whatever. So the kids can tell their parents.
They can, but a lot of times the way the parent hears that is, oh, that teacher just is a bad teacher and doesn't have classroom management or doesn't have control, right? They don't necessarily think of it as being a problem, a systemic problem with, or that that's a problem with those kids. You know what I mean? The parents don't understand that the laws have changed, the rules have changed, and so we've got to do a better job of educating the parents of what's actually going on. And the frustration level of teachers is through the roof. And I'm hearing longtime teachers that are retiring early, younger teachers that are looking to get out, right, to find a different school, a different place, because they just don't feel safe. I'm hearing elementary school teachers that have been assaulted by kids, and the kids back in the classroom the next day. Right? I mean, these are kids that are out of control, throwing chairs and desks.
Oh, my gosh.
And doing things. And the teacher's being told, well, just document it, you know.
What does that even mean? You write it down, but there are no consequences for the kids.
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I understand that the pendulum swings, right? And what they're trying to avoid is criminal justice system involvement by the kids.
Yes.
And I get that. I understand that because it changes the trajectory of that child's life.
Yeah.
Having said that, the primary reason a kid is at school is to learn.
Yeah.
And so if Junior is creating an environment where everybody else can't learn, then what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, there's got to be better alternatives than just suspending. I don't think that just sending them home with nothing is a good deal. They should be given a computer and said, you have to log on for these hours while you're at home, and you have to get these assignments done.
They're going to lose that computer. They're going to sell that computer. They're going to do something else.
Well, I'm going to tell the parents are going to be put on the hook for it and for the work getting done, and put the responsibility where it needs to be on the parents and the kid and not on the school system.
Here's the thing. We have defined so many things as corporal punishment.
I know.
So, like, you can't even tell a kid to take a lap. Right? I mean,
yeah.
you can't send them to PE and make them run in circles for an hour if they're that disruptive, because that's considered corporal punishment.
Yeah.
How about redefining corporal punishment?
Yeah.
Telling a kid to go out and run some of that energy off is, I think, a pretty constructive way of dealing with it.
So the creative way teachers get around that is they send them on errands around the campus.
But then they can be disruptive elsewhere on campus.
I know, and this is causing a problem. Our security guards are frustrated because you have all these kids that are out and about.
Well, and that's what they want, right?
That are, yes, that are mouthing off and causing problems, and the security guards can't get control of them either. And they're also being told, just document it, just document it. You know, this is a very deep issue, and I don't know quite what the right answer is, but I think that we've got to begin to have a discussion about it, and it starts with parents standing up, because right now nobody seems to be listening to the teachers, and you know the schools are not as safe as they used to be. Here's something that's happening too that's really, I think, shocking to some folks. In order to keep the numbers of suspensions down, principals are calling the parents and saying, why don't you keep your student home today? But they're not logging it as a suspension. There's no paperwork. There's no documentation. They're just under the table
They're
telling
falsifying the information.
They are, so that they can get that nice low number of suspensions on that dashboard, so they don't get in trouble with the higher ups. They look like they've calmed the seas and the school is safe and good.
I mean, I don't blame the principals for doing that, because that's been you will find a way to meet the goals that you're given.
Yes.
However, it's not an accurate picture of what's going on at the school.
It's not. It's really not. And the parents don't realize. They're thinking, oh, he told me to keep my kid home. He's suspended. But they're not. They're being very careful in how they word it. So the parents think that that's the case, but they're not putting it in as a suspension. And we're having teachers that are beginning to realize that, because they'll see it come up in their computer system the next day, and the kid's not shown as suspended. They're just shown as an unexcused absence or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, so the kid's not there. The teacher's kind of low-key happy because they can teach that day, right? They got the result they wanted, but it wasn't marked as a suspension. Why is that? And it's a game. It's really become sort of this game. People are trying to game the system, but the end result is we're not serving kids. The majority of the kids, the ones that are behaving, that are being good, that want to learn, are not getting the environment that they deserve in this new system. And it's really, really frustrating.
So what does a parent do? I mean, because usually these changes come about when somebody sues. So what is a parent to do? What can they do?
What can a parent do?
Yeah.
Well, they got to go talk to their school board, for starters. And somewhere you got to get a forward-thinking school board that's willing to push back on some of this stuff and take a public statement and say, look, I don't care what the state says and what the dashboard says. We're going to have safe schools in this district, and here's how we're going to do it. We're not going to worry about the suspension rate. We're going to suspend kids if they need to be suspended, and we're going to come up with alternatives. We're going to put some money into some alternatives. So we'll have, they used to have the on-campus suspension room. They used to have more alternative education options. So like I said, the kid will show up at a different site, and they'll be in like a cubicle with a computer, and so if this kid can't handle being in a room with everybody else, and you give them other options, like you said, some kids need to run and burn off some steam.
Yeah.
How
about youth courts? Do those work?
I think they do, but but they have to be properly implemented. And unfortunately, I haven't seen it in my district yet. I know
and it really only works for older kids. So that I don't think it would be a possibility for elementary school kids to be able to listen and mete out a response to correct behavior. You can't ask a 10, 11-year-old to do that.
And even middle school, I think, might be too young. I see these kids. I don't know that they're mature enough to be able to handle what the requirements are for that without a lot of adult intervention. And then at that point, you're like, well, why don't we just have the adults do this? Because it becomes too problematic. If you're a kid that's on the jury and you mete out some consequence for some kid, some of these kids will target you then. You become, a target, and this is not good. So I worry about it. I worry about this whole thing, and it's devolving. It's falling apart. The system is falling apart, and I'm glad that teachers are stepping up and starting to talk about it. Like I said, this opinion piece I just read, he calls it a crime, and I really feel like it is. It's they're stealing education from other kids.
They are. Right. Well, and taxpayers are not getting the value of their investment either. I mean, we as a country long ago decided that public education was a good use of our time and money. And the reason why we did that is because an educated population can be more productive. Okay, makes perfect sense. Except now we're creating an environment where we're spending all the money and it's making it more difficult to be productive.
Yeah.
So we're getting hosed on both ends.
Yeah. Well, and I read another study where in certain populations in high poverty communities, getting suspended is a badge of honor, and so these kids try to get suspended. They want the time off. They want to be able to walk the streets and say, I got suspended. I was in this fight or that fight, that got me suspended. And so it instead of being the deterrent to future bad behavior, in many ways it becomes a badge of honor.
So what do? I mean, it's not like we live in the rural community, and it looks like we're over time. It's not like we're working living in the rural community where, you could go tell Junior to go to clean up the stalls, and
Right.
There's no FFA, there's no, So with that, let's continue this conversation after the break. We have run over. I'm Erin Brinker,
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
and we are on the brink. The morning show on KCAA. We'll be right back.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
California headline news, a traffic nightmare for Bay Area motorists Thursday. The Richmond-San Rafael Bridge closing several times after large chunks of concrete apparently fell from the upper deck onto the lower one.
We received a 911 call from a driver stating that as they were going eastbound on the bridge, a large chunk of concrete fell and hit their car. They reported to us they had sustained major damage.
CHP Officer Andrew Barkley, Caltrans making a temporary fix, installing large metal plates. More inspections this weekend. Another possible shutdown of the federal government just a week away. California Representative Nancy Pelosi hopeful it can be avoided.
I have confidence in the appropriators, not because I know what they're doing, but because I have confidence in the appropriations process.
Pelosi saying budget negotiators should be allowed to do their work, saying she and President Trump should stay out of it for now. More rain and snow headed to Northern California this weekend. Today expected to dry off, but rain will move into the Sacramento Valley region starting during the afternoon and evening. Jeff Scott, California News.
Uber has been doing a ton of great things this last year, and Uber Rewards is going to make you love Uber even more. With Uber Rewards, you'll get rewarded for things you're already doing. Every eligible dollar you spend on rides and Uber Eats earns you points that unlock amazing benefits, like Uber Cash, complimentary surprise upgrades, flexible cancellations, and so much more. Your life is about to get more rewarding thanks to Uber. Get all the info and terms at uber.com/rewards. That's uber.com/rewards.
You're in the front yard, shovel in hand, about to dig, when a thought crosses your mind.
Was I supposed to call 811 before I start digging? Nah, that's just for excavator dudes.
No, dude, it's for homeowners too. Before starting any digging project, call 811 2 working days in advance to get all underground lines marked for free. Because natural gas lines and other utilities can be buried anywhere.
Got it. Thanks, deep-voiced narrator.
You're welcome, dude. Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
California headline news, a new bill is aiming to increase penalties and make it more expensive for people caught texting while driving. Currently, the base fine in California for texting and driving is $20 for the first offense, $50 for the second, with possible additional penalties. Assembly Bill 47 would punish offenders by adding a point to their driving record. The bill supported by AAA Northern California, along with several insurance industry groups. So far, there is no formal opposition to the legislation. California News, I'm Jeff Scott.
It's time to check our roadways. I'm Erin Brinker in Victorville on the 15 northbound from Mojave Drive to Stoddard Wells Road. There's a work zone. The left lane is coned off until about 7 a.m., so not too much time left. And in Colton, there's a work zone on the 10 eastbound at Rancho. The on-ramp is closed until April 30th. This has been your traffic report. Drive carefully, everyone. I'm Erin Brinker, and this is KCAA.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Alvin Washington. Sunny this morning, a high of 60. Showers this evening, low 42. Sunshine, chance of showers Saturday, high 55. Partly cloudy Saturday night, low 42. Sunny on Sunday. I'm Alvin Washington, broadcasting live from the Tri-City Center at the 10 and 210 freeways. We are the trifecta of talk in Southern California, KCAA, 102.3 FM, Riverside, 106.5 FM, Redlands, and the Legacy 1050 AM, Loma Linda, San Bernardino.
Broadcasting more local radio programs than any other station in California, we are KCAA.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I heaver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show. And for those of you who have been listening to this show for a while, know that for the first year Tobin and I did the show together, this was our opening theme song.
Yes, it was.
Remembering those early days.
And we have walked that many miles.
We have walked that many,
some.
and then some. So I am so excited and pleased to welcome back to our show Lori Butler. She is the Director of Development for Feeding America. And, if you're not going to, if you don't want the government to overhaul the world, then you have to, to transfer wealth, then getting out there and making it happen without the help of the government is super important. And I say that because part of that is charity, and part of that is volunteering, and a big important part of that is Feeding America. They are in every community across the country and right here in the Inland Empire. And Lori Butler, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Erin.
So you all have an event coming up.
We absolutely do. It's our annual Ladles of Love event that we have around Valentine's Day every year.
That's wonderful. So what is Ladle of Love?
Ladles of Love is a free event where anyone in the community can join us for a soup luncheon and some inspiring talk and a tour of our 60,000-foot warehouse, which houses the $45 million worth of food we put out into the community to feed those who are hungry every year.
Wow. So how many people do you feed in the average week or month?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I can tell you it's upwards of 400,000 in a year.
Wow.
Yeah, and those are repeat. We actually do feed individuals who show up at our facility, but our main source of feeding people is partnering with 450 other agencies in the Inland Empire, anywhere from Big Bear out to the Arizona border, out to the Los Angeles border.
So this would be your Catholic Charities or your church's food bank or, Helping Hands Pantry or, some of these other agencies that put food in the hands of people, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Not just soup kitchens and food pantries, but other agencies who are doing incredible work to solve other social problems. People like the domestic violence shelter, again, up in Big Bear in the mountains, just really individual churches who are feeding people. One of the most interesting things we did is we partner whenever there's an emergency. So we've done quite a bit of feeding of government workers during the shutdown. So as you said, government wasn't paying people, so Feeding America stepped in to pay, or not to pay, but to feed our government workers. So we gave them, it was just right before they went back to work, we opened up our warehouse and government workers could come, show their ID, and they could shop and take as much food as they needed for their families home.
And that is wonderful, because there are times, if you think about how most people over the course of their lives, sometimes they have money and sometimes they don't. And I know when Tobin and I were first starting out and we had babies really quickly, we needed help, and we got help from a local pantry, and we were very, very grateful. So, people that you wouldn't think would need help at any point in their lives, many of them, they did need help, and it was important that it was there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things we work to advocate for, is to dismiss this notion about people staying on food assistance for a long time, Erin. Most people, statistically, even across the United States, and it's the same here in the Inland Empire, stay on food assistance for less than 4 years. And most people have been on food assistance and don't realize it. think about it, listeners. Every one of you who's had a free or reduced lunch at school when you were a kid, you were on food assistance. Aaron, like you, I was on food assistance when my husband died in 2005 and left me with 3 kids. We lived in a big 5-bedroom, 3-bath house, but we got by that first 3 months on a couple of different churches bringing us food from their food pantries. He hadn't paid his life insurance policy. So people just assumed we were doing well. And that little bit of help got us over the hump so we could get our finances straightened out. And I could go back to working at a nonprofit helping other people. So most people who take assistance give back at some point in their life.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing, is that it's so easy, and such a small investment can make a huge difference. So tell us, if somebody made an investment of $10, what would that buy?
Well, for every dollar that we take in, it helps us provide up to 9 meals. So imagine
wow.
$10 could provide 90 meals and feed 90 people. That's funny you should mention $10, because at our Labels of Love on February 12th from noon to 1, we're asking people to give a gift of $11 or more, because $11 will help us feed 100 people. The theme of our event is actually kind of related to the soup. It's one giving heart can warm 100 more.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. So, if you can't make it to the event, and people should try to make it to the event because the warehouse is something to behold, but if you can't make it to the event, can we just donate on your website?
Absolutely. Just go online at feedingamericaie.org. Look for the donate button. You can also look for the Ladles of Love button. Give a donation of $11 or more, and you'll be feeding 100 people.
So if somebody, say my company wants to do a Give Back Day, can we volunteer as a group at Feeding America IE?
Absolutely. And, that's a sub-theme of what we're doing on Tuesday. The large trunking company, CR England, every time a delivery is made anywhere in the United States, the regional Feeding America food bank gets a quarter. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but last year they had a goal to do 1 million meals, and they did 1.6 million.
Wow.
So their marketing director, who used to be the president of the Utah Food Bank, he's coming out, and he's going to be our guest speaker, and he's going to try to inspire a 12-year-old to have a lemonade stand for feeding people. He's going to try to inspire other companies to just do something, because his company started off by just giving a quarter every time they made a delivery.
Wow.
And they ended up doing much, much more than they ever thought they could. And just think, if we could get 100 companies from that event or families or churches or groups to do something like that, we could feed the other half of the people in the Inland Empire that every day we have to choose not to feed because we don't have enough funding. We're food rich. We've got a warehouse full of food, but that cash helps us put gas in our trucks, helps us pay our staff, helps us pay our rent for a 60,000 square foot warehouse. We don't own it. If someone wants to give us a 60,000 foot warehouse, I'm happy to take their call this morning.
That would be a great donation.
Yeah. And, I throw that out there because one of your listeners might just be in that position. But we do have expenses, and every cash donation, we just stretch it so far, Aaron. It really does fill the bellies of kids. There's really good news. 1 in 5 children is food insecure in the Inland Empire. Now, you're laughing at me saying, why is that good news? And the reason why is because up until last year, it was 1 in 4. So we know that our partnership with you, being on the radio, our partnership with our agencies, and our partnership with the people who give to us has moved that needle. That's a huge movement in 1 year. And we don't want to just feed people. We want to end hunger. We want to alleviate it and work towards ending it. And it's exciting every day to go to work to be a part of that.
So this is a fundamental easy to get your brain around way of making a difference in your community. Everybody needs to eat. Everyone needs access to nutritious food, and Feeding America Inland Empire, just like Feeding America nationwide, is doing that work every day. So give that website one more time.
It's feedingamericaie.org.
Well, Lori Butler, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for the incredible work. The event is Tuesday the 12th?
It is, and it's from noon to 1, and people can still sign up for free. We've got a large warehouse, so they don't need to be afraid to come and bring 10 friends with them. I will find a place for them.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. The website is feedingamericaie.org. Everybody needs to get out there and donate or get out there and volunteer. And we'll talk to you again soon, Lori. Thank you again for joining us.
You're welcome, Erin, and thank you.
So with that, it's time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We'll be right back.
Guardian Tax Service says that blood cannot be manufactured in a laboratory. Healthy human donors are needed year-round so that hospitals never experience critical shortages. Since blood can't be stored for long periods of time, 2 or 3 yearly visits to a hospital or nearby blood center can actually save the life of a child accident victim or surgery patient. This reminder from Guardian Tax Service, maintaining quality tax preparation at affordable prices for a wide variety of tax-related services to meet your needs. Trust Karen's 13 years of experience and call 909-475-8297 or visit guardiantaxes.com. That's Guardian Tax Service, on the air because they care.
It's time to say see you later, alligator, to embarrassing and troublesome issues with your skin, nails, and hair with all-natural Cayman alligator oil. Cayman oil is locally made, right in Louisiana, where people have been using alligator oil for centuries to treat all kinds of ailments. A drop a day of Cayman oil can help you say see you later, alligator, to athlete's foot, nail fungus, acne, eczema, rashes, dry skin, cuts, infections, MRSA, scars, burns, sunburns, and even ingrown hair and dandruff. If you or someone you know is tired of suffering with any of these skin, nail, and hair troubles, you need to visit mycayman.com to learn more about 100% natural, non-toxic, hypoallergenic Cayman oil and get a bottle today. Say see you later, alligator, with Cayman alligator oil at mycayman.com. That's mycayman.com. mycayman.com.
The Tri-City Shopping Center in Redlands is home to some of the best bargain shopping in the region. Citywear, Style for Less, and Dollar Tree, to name just a few. Friendly shop owners and staff are waiting for you to stop in for the many specials and bargains they're excited to share. The Tri-City Shopping Center is located just off I-10 between Alabama and the Tennessee exits in Redlands. Make it your home for all your shopping needs, and you'll know why the Tri-City Center is called the Mall with a Heart.
This is KCAA.
They see me mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and nerdy.
First in my class there at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out, just have an Earl Grey tea. My rims never spin, to the contrary. You'll find that they're quite stationary. All of my action figures are cherry. Stephen Hawking's in my library. My MySpace page is all totally pimped out. Got people begging for my top 8 spaces. Yo, I know pie to 1,000 places. Ain't got no grills, but I still wear braces. I order all of my sandwiches with mayonnaise. I'm a whiz and minesweeper, I can play for days. Once you see my sweet...
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And I'm teasing my husband.
Yes, you are.
We are on the brink.
That's my theme song.
No. We are on the brink, the morning show on KCAA. I love this song.
I do too.
So I am super excited to welcome to the show Raja Manar, and I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Special interview. This is about a Grammy event that will kick off the year of musical surprises. We're going to be learning how unique Pop-Up Sensory Lab is providing an exciting place for music fans to gather. This is celebrating the Grammys through a priceless experience. Raja, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you for having me.
So tell us about this new technology or experience.
Right. So what we are doing is at MasterCard, trying to recognize the fact that consumers are not just interacting through their traditional computers, iPads, and so on, but they are now using a lot of voice-based commerce, voice-based search, whether it is smart speakers on one hand, or you have got Internet of Things or wearables. There is no visual real estate. It's all going to be using voice. So as a brand, in a physical situation where you can see something about the brand logo, but in a voice situation where there is no visible real estate, you have to have some kind of an identity, which we call as sonic identity. And we have come up with a comprehensive strategy and architecture, what we call as sonic branding architecture, which we believe is pretty pathbreaking. And so we created, for example, a melody for MasterCard, a catchy melody which is very neutral and highly adaptable across genres and cultures around the world because we're a global brand. And when people start hearing that, for a period of time, they will start associating that with MasterCard, and they feel that they are in a familiar territory that is safe, trusted, etc. And what we also have done is not just release the melody alone, but to have different versions of that on the one hand, but also different lengths. So, for example, a shorter version of that melody is what we call as a musical logo or logo. And this logo is probably about 2.5 seconds and will feature at the end of every one of our ads. And even a subset of that, a much smaller version, which is less than a second or so, is the sound that you hear when a consumer is paying with his or her MasterCard. So the sound of acceptance, and you'll see it at all the point-of-sale terminals in the coming months and years. And what we are trying to do, therefore, is to give a ubiquitous presence for MasterCard via sound. And that's what we are trying to demonstrate here at the Sensory Lab that we have at Tech Signal that we have set up, and it's West Hollywood. And very excited with this global launch, and we are rolling it around the world, starting here in Los Angeles.
So this is a really revolutionary idea.
Yes, we believe it is, and it's been a very thoughtful, detailed exercise. We have been researching this for more than 2 years around the world. We worked with a number of artists, number of musicologists around the world, and finally we have come up with something which we feel is a terrific solution. And we also worked with some celebrities to have their rendition of our sonic signatures and melodies. For example, we have Camila Cabello, who is our brand ambassador, and she has rendered this melody. And in fact, her ad, the ad that is featuring her, is going to be released timeless Grammy Awards on Sunday. And we have also partnered with Mike Shinoda, who has created an EDM version of our melody. And so we're very excited. And there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of excitement, obviously, and this is the beginning of our global rollout starting tonight.
So this is going to be launching, and it's the fidelity is a little bit difficult, so I'm just going to understand. This is going to be launching at the Grammy Awards, so MasterCard will be promoting this at the Grammy Awards. Is that correct?
It's not at the Grammy Awards, but it's coinciding with Grammy Awards. So when you're watching the Grammy on the TV, you will see our ad there, and at the end of the ad, you'll see the logo playing, for example.
Ah. All right, so some of the artists you brought up, Camila Cabello, and I'm looking, is it Kendrick Lamar and Childish Gambino and Lady Gaga? And so do you have other genres as well?
Right. We are working only at this point in time with Camila Cabello of the list that we have just mentioned. We also are working with a few other artists internationally as well, and here we are working with Mike Shinoda, and he's the co-founder of Linkin Park. And so we have got a number of artists who are involved today and who are going to get involved with us tomorrow.
So how do people find out more about this?
If you go to mastercard.com, we have provided all the information over there.
Wonderful. Well, this is wonderful. So Raja Manar, did I pronounce that by the way? Did I pronounce that correctly?
You got it perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This is a really exciting, a really revolutionary technology, and this pop-up sensory lab on Sunset Drive in West Hollywood.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, wow, that's exciting. So, Mr. Tobin.
Yes.
This weekend.
Yes.
Anything exciting? I mean, after the Super Bowl was on last weekend, anything going on this weekend?
I actually went to go look, and got my dates and times right now. So tomorrow, from 11 to 3 at the Lincoln Shrine in Redlands is when they're doing their whole Lincoln Day thing. They've got the historical reenactors. It is a really cool event. And so that's where I will be tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to the Living Desert tomorrow.
Really?
Well, it's one of my favorite places. I love zoos. Zoos make me so happy seeing the animals, and the Living Desert's really pretty. It's out there in Palm Desert, and it should be absolutely gorgeous. And so I'm going to be out there with one of our dearest friends, our besties. They teach at Citrus Valley High School. There's a group of kids from Citrus Valley who are going, and they're chaperones, and we're going to join them.
You're going to chaperone children?
Well, they're high school students. They're not really children.
I know.
So, but, there's going to be all kinds of fun stuff to do there. And again, and I think I mentioned this, Brew at the Zoo. I think that's this coming weekend.
Brew at the Zoo. That
Yes.
sounds like something that I would enjoy.
That is totally something that you would enjoy. But you're going to be at the Lincoln Shrine.
I am. And it's funny. We've been so busy. I just kind of want a down weekend.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I also think we've got to get these girls up to the snow. If you have not looked at the mountains and seen all that beautiful snow up there, I know it's going to be crazy this weekend.
And there's another storm coming in on Sunday.
Yeah. But
So-
I want to get up to the snow.
So there's another exhibit at the county library that you went to yesterday.
Yeah, so for Black History Month, they had a beautiful art display. And the county museum is not it's not an art museum. It's a history museum, history and science museum. But they have a beautiful art display, African-American artists with African styles of art. And it's really quite beautiful, lots of different types of art. And last night they had their reception for this event. They had several spoken word artists there as well last night that were phenomenal, and just a great turnout from the community. And so if you get a chance, head over to the San Bernardino County Museum and make it up to the top floor. And I forget the name. It's the top dome exhibit in the top there. And it's beautiful.
Is it beautiful? I wanted to go last night, but I just, I'm still battling this cold and or flu. It's got to be a flu at this point, whatever virus it is. I was tired after work.
I'm lucky in my friends because one of the teachers that I work with, Adiola Iloja Davies, is an artist as well as a teacher, and her art was one of the featured art that was there, and beautiful works of art. And so she's the one who invited us, and I'm just so glad we went. It was really an amazing night.
Okay, so I want to the Living Desert Brew at the Zoo is this coming weekend. It is the 9th. It's tomorrow, the Saturday. It's from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. And I'm just going to read this from their website. Join us for Brew at the Zoo in Palm Desert, presented by McLean Capital Advisors. Guests will enjoy a wide variety of beverage tastings from more than 30 vendors representing many of the region's finest specialty breweries, wineries, and as well as other libations, including liquor, and non-alcoholic beverages. New this year, 10 Southern California-based food trucks will be on hand to offer a wide variety of gourmet street fare for purchase. Also new this year, guests will not want to miss an opportunity to take a ride on a hot air balloon. These are tethered balloon rides available for an additional fee. They will offer stunning vistas of the zoo as well as plenty of photo ops. The evening also includes 4 stages of live entertainment set throughout the park. Attendees will have exciting animal encounters and also can explore the African section of the park to see zebras, cheetahs, and warthogs, Arabian oryx, and many, many other animals. The price for members is $60, non-members is $65, and the designated driver is only $20.
Wow.
So go to livingdesert.org to get more information. And we are completely out of time. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are On the Brink, the morning show on KCAA. Love having you with us. We'll see you on Monday.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC. Wall Street has not had a 3-day losing streak yet this year, but we could see one today. Stock futures are lower on fears that tariffs may go up again. The U.S. and China don't even have a draft of a deal yet, and deadline day is approaching. Walmart's now selling its own line of furniture on its website, Modern, M-O-D-R-N. Some say it looks a lot like IKEA stuff. Amazon's Jeff Bezos accuses the National Enquirer of blackmail. We'll see if that has any impact on Amazon stock today. Hasbro's profits were slammed more than feared by Toys R Us closing last year. Mattel got hurt too, but it was saved by Barbie. whose sales were the best in 5 years. Wells Fargo's ATMs and services back up and running today after that outage yesterday. Skechers sold $1 billion worth of sneakers and other shoes for Christmas, best sales ever. And food delivery service Postmates plans to sell stock to the public this year. Postmates owns 40% of the LA market. Chuck Kamlick, CNBC.